Hello and welcome to Practice Your English Step by Step. In this lesson, we're going to look at how to use the article a or an. In grammar books, this is called the indefinite article. It is indefinite because it refers to things which are not definite or defined. The first point to make is that we use an, instead of a, when the following word begins with a vowel. Let's look at this by starting with an exercise. Insert the articles into the following sentences. In these sentences, we should say, I ate a banana and an apple with my lunch. The children saw a tiger and an elephant at the zoo. I read an interesting article about a new exhibition in London. She had an ordinary childhood, but she was a very special child. It was a rainy day, so he took an umbrella. We have to say an apple because the following word begins with the sound a. Also, an interesting article because interesting begins with the sound e. An ordinary childhood because ordinary begins with o. And an umbrella because umbrella begins with a. Notice that it is the sounds which make a difference. A, e, o, u are all vowel sounds, so we use an as the article. It's important to remember here that sometimes a word is spelled with the letter U at the beginning, but the sound is actually a consonant. For example, a university, a useful device, a unicorn. The pronunciation of the letter U in these sounds is like the consonant Y, so we don't use an. Similarly, we have to remember that some words are spelled with the consonant H at the beginning, but we don't pronounce the H, so we use an. For example, an honour, an hourly bus, an honest man. So thinking of this, correct the following. In these sentences, we should say, it is an unusual film about a universe where planets are fighting each other. He was a hard-working man, but he wasn't an honest employee. So now we can look at when we should use a or an. The most important rule is that we use a or an when we are referring to singular things for the first time. Remember, we only use a and an for singular things and people. Try to correct the following. So here are the correct sentences. I've got a car, but I hardly ever use it. I keep the car in the garage. We stayed in a lovely hotel on the island. The island was right beside the beach. She started a new job last week. The job is part-time. I needed to find a bank. Unfortunately, the first bank I found was closed. In these examples, you are giving information about the following things for the first time: a car, a hotel, a job, and a bank. In each example, the second sentence gives you more information, so you use the second time you mention the thing. Here we have the car, the hotel, the job, and the bank. We use the indefinite article when we don't specify exactly which things or which people we are talking about. Think about this and try to correct the following sentences. In these sentences, it is not important to specify the friend, the school, the pen, or the film, so we have to say, he met a friend in the city centre. She works in a school in London. He took a pen from his pocket. They went to see a film. One easy rule to remember about the indefinite article is that we use a when we are giving information about someone's profession or position in life. So thinking of this, try to correct the following. So here are the correct sentences. When I was a child, I wanted to be an astronaut. He gave up his job as an engineer and became a professional musician. Before becoming a Buddhist monk, he was a student, a university professor, and a yoga teacher. Here's another context in which we use the indefinite article. We use a with high numbers. Think about the following and try to correct them. Here we have to say, there were over 100 people at the wedding. I've been here 1,000 times. He made $1 million in 1 year. More than 1 billion people use the English language. Staying on the subject of numbers, we also use the indefinite article when we talk about some times and measurements. So try to correct the following. Here we have to say, I go to the gym twice a week. The speed limit is 30 miles an hour. The potatoes cost 50 pence a kilo. You can see a full moon about 14 times a year. So now we've looked at how to use the indefinite article. It's time to test yourself. Where should we put a, the indefinite article, in these sentences? Here are the correct sentences. I looked up and saw a shooting star. We were hungry, so we looked for a restaurant. The students were looking for a new flatmate. He gave his wife a bouquet of flowers on St. Valentine's Day. The children made up a story. He had a headache and a pain in his neck. Here are some more examples to change. Here are the correct sentences. She's got a plant on her desk at work. He's gone shopping for a new pair of shoes. She's studying to become a nurse. He needs a plumber to fix his bathroom. He's saving up £1,000 for a long holiday. She only goes shopping once a week. Here are some more examples to change. Here are the correct sentences. He took a photograph of a dolphin. She relaxed and watched a film on TV. He bought a souvenir when he was in Paris. She's hoping to get a raise in salary. It was sunny, so they had a picnic. He always dreamed of becoming an actor. So now we come to the end of the lesson. Remember, keep reading, writing, speaking, and listening to English as much as possible. Keep practicing your English step by step.